Hi, I'm Amber Sim with Sime Realty, and we're here at the Beach Channel doing South Florida Homes podcast. And I actually have a very familiar face on the podcast today. This is Allison Heron. She's on our team at Sime Realty, and we decided we were going to highlight some of our listings today. So she's going to help me, and we're going to discuss one of the properties that we have in Pinecrest, and then a historically designated property which we have in Coral Gables. So Allison, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks. Hi.
Yeah. Hey, so it's fun having you on the other end of this. So let's talk about this first property that we have, which is 13505 Southwest 83rd Street. Do you maybe want to give a little background on the property, and then I will kind of jump in as well?
I love that house. It's gorgeous. It's in Pinecrest, really nice area. It's like right next to the falls. It's near Coral Reef Park, the golf course, Palmetto Bay Golf Course. You're also like right next to Deering Estate. You're in the middle of all these really, nice places in Miami.
Yeah.
And then you're also close to US 1, so yeah, anywhere you need to go, you can get pretty quickly.
So it's like right off 136, which is like where the falls is.
Right.
My favorite restaurant actually is Samurai. So literally like 2-minute drive from Samurai. You also have the Chick-fil-A, which they just opened up not too far away as well. So that's like 5 minutes. But then, yeah, like you're saying, you're in this nice area. It's on this cul-de-sac street.
Right. So even though you're you're right next to US 1, you're still, once you get to the property, you feel like you're in a little sanctuary because you're at the end of the cul-de-sac. So that's really nice. I like that.
And it's like a massive yard. So it's a half acre,
huge.
True half acre. You have a generous sized backyard, and then you also have basically a little soccer field.
Really big side yard. Yeah. You could put a tennis court back there.
You definitely could.
Pickleball court.
The way it's laid out, pickleball court, tennis court, basketball court.
Yeah, little area if you have kids to play, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, or host parties,
Yes. And so kind of like walking into the interior of the house, you have, even though it's an 80s home, the current owners, they bought it, and basically starting from 2020, they did pretty much everything you could do to the house. So
as someone's gonna say, it's really nice. It's like turnkey, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So they did, walls, kitchen, porcelain tile flooring, electrical, lighting, redid like the whole exterior pool deck. And so like immediately when you walk in, you're kind of greeted by this very open layout, very generous living space. You have your foyer, you have your dining room, and then a really big family area as well. And then if you want to talk about maybe the kitchen.
Yeah, that flows right into the kitchen, basically. And it's a gorgeous kitchen, beautiful. The big, huge island in the middle, extended island. The countertops, what are the countertops again?
The countertops are quartz countertops.
They're gorgeous.
Really nice, like very white cabinetry. You also have the breakfast nook there. You have bar seating. You have your island with your stovetop, and you have a nice view from the kitchen looking out to the pool as well, and really easy access to both the dining room as well as the family room too. So they use that space also as like the breakfast nook, but if you wanted to, the breakfast nook could be like a little den family area as well, just depending on how you want to use the space. But the coolest feature, Allison, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Let's talk about the wine cellar.
Yeah.
That is crazy when I first walked into that property.
It's funny because were you there when Belinda was like describing the house? So like I feel like the first thing she mentioned was the wine cellar.
Yeah, and she was like,
we were like,
wine cellar. We're like,
why would you mention that first?
Yeah, like cool.
Yeah, we're like, why are you? And she's like, wait till you see it.
Yeah, we didn't think it was gonna be an actual big room with these gorgeous wooden doors. And you walk in and you feel like you're walking into like some
like a
Italian
monastery,
house.
yeah, or like some sort of like museum or something.
You feel like you're in an Italian basement. You know, like it's gorgeous and it fits a lot of people.
It does, yeah. So I think the interior seating in the space is up for about 8.
Yeah.
And it is commercial grade, chilled. So the prior owner, I think this was the one room that they actually didn't touch because the prior owner actually had like a wine business. So he built this out commercial grade. It's very expensive to do at this level that they've done. And I believe inside there's space for about 8 people, as well as I want to say 2,000 bottles.
Yeah, I think
within it. So
and climate controlled. It was nice and chilly in there.
Yeah. So I mean, even on like a summer day, you might find yourself
hanging out in there.
There, yeah. No, because it's just a great use of space.
Yeah. It's a really cool space to take guests.
Exactly. Sure. Yeah. And I would say like the whole house in general is incredible for entertaining, between like the open layout, like really open, big kitchen. And then the backyard, you have, like a wet bar, you have an ice maker out there, you have, your grill, your hot tub, your pool.
Yeah, pool and hot tub.
Pool and hot tub, which is incredible.
Really nice.
And then you do have then like your shower outside as well, and a private entrance into the primary suite.
Yeah.
Which in total, really cool. We didn't even discuss it, but it's, over 4,000 square feet. You have 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3 of the bedrooms are en suite. And then you do have additional den space as well, which could be converted into a 5th bedroom, like if you wanted to. But circling back on the primary suite, you do have incredible primary suite.
Yeah, and the bathroom in there is amazing.
It's amazing.
The tub.
Yeah.
With that private entrance like you were talking about.
Yeah.
When you go out into the backyard, you'll notice a couple walls on the side and you have a little corridor with a private space. Basically, the master bathroom has its own little private outdoor space, which is really cool.
Super nice. Yeah, if you're like, a family and you just want to get away a little bit, like you have your own little private sanctuary. So you have like your own entrance into the primary bathroom. You have a standalone soaking tub. You have a large shower, double really vanity, and then you have very nice space for the bedroom with a generous walk-in closet. Yeah. And one of the things I love about the house is that you have so many like access points to the outside too. So you have it in the bathroom, you have it in the primary bedroom, you have it all running through the kitchen and kind of to the den space. Yeah. So it has really nice flow to it. Yeah. And, all of the windows, all of the doors, all impact. So really like storm proof, as well as, you have your sound system like throughout the exterior and then in some of the inside components as well, too. So really great for entertaining.
Yeah, it's a great house. I mean,
not much more to say about it.
I mean, it's great. Yeah. It's updated. It's turnkey. You've got a little piece of history with the wine cellar.
Yep. And then the pricing on this is $2,498,000. So we did just have a price improvement. And again, it's move-in ready. Nothing you have to do. You're around one of the best areas. You have amazing schools right around there as well too. So great public school options, some of the best private school options. You're in Pinecrest, so really great area, quiet street, but yet still accessible to a lot of great options nearby. Right. So now kind of like switching gears, we went through a pretty updated listing. Now we're going to talk about like a very unique property, which we have in Coral Gables. So
love this one.
Really nothing of its kind like this. It's actually one of, we're going to focus on the cottages, which we have, but it is part of like a bigger condo. So the whole property is 20,000 square foot lot, and it has a main house, and then we have 5 of the cottages for sale. So really we're just going to be focusing on like the 4 kind of single user cottages that we have, which are priced at $528,000 each. Yeah. And so really you're buying into a community here. So the whole property, it was built in 1930s. It was originally built for University of Miami faculty. You have these homes, which
gorgeous. They're built straight out of the coral rock, which I think it's stunning when you're walking in there,
and so unique because you have a little over between 600-700 square feet depending on the cottage. They're loft style, but you have like, it's a really great use of space because you have like a kitchen with
dishwashers.
Dishwasher, stove, which you can't say for everything priced in this range in Coral Gables. And like you walk through the cavern, it feels like a cave, like we were saying, like you might see in like Italy or something.
And they have the lighting, the blue lighting, which is really pretty.
And then you have these covered like patios, which really adds like more to the square footage.
Screened in too.
Screened in, which if you wanted to convert to living space, you could as well. I know that is a potential option. And then you do have like that rooftop terrace as well.
So you pass the 4 cottages, and then there are some stairs leading up to this beautiful rooftop with like this blue tile walls, and it's gorgeous for if you want to just get away or hosting events there, which it's a really, really nice community space.
And the intent with this property, so like right now what they do is they actually like rent out the cottages, and so this owner, she's an architect, and so she has like a very like artistic flair with things, and so she's really put her heart into these spaces. But you see the rooftop terrace, it has this like Gaudi inspired mosaic tiling, and it's really just like the intent is to have kind of this like artist community, people who appreciate history and see kind of that like alternative lifestyle compared to like run-of-the-mill homes you would probably get in Coral Gables. Honestly, it's very difficult to even access Coral Gables in this price range. So this gives you kind of that single family feel, but you are a part of this artist history. And part of history. And you do have this like little, you mentioned event spaces. You have this little coral, they're called the ruins, but it's like a converted garage, which now it sits like just the rocks, and there's actually like a yoga teacher that lives in the community, so they teach like yoga classes and everything there. So it's a very, very special space.
Very special, very interesting. It really is gorgeous. And also, you didn't mention at the front of the property there's like a moat.
Oh yeah, that's right
there. That is so cool.
So I think some of the like coral rock was like dug out of there. I want to say there might have been water there at some point. But
they used to have a water feature, she said, and then they drained it just because they didn't want to.
Now you can just go like under, and, feel kind of cool, but
but it's cool. You can say like, I have a moat right in front of my house,
exactly.
Coral rock
and
moat.
The other great thing about this property is just the location. So you're in North Gables. You're very close to the Granada Golf Course. You're like a block or 2 over from Country Club Prado. So if you enjoy, walking and, being around the area, you have access to a lot of just like, beautiful architecture and homes like around that area. So we mentioned, obviously, this is a historical home. You have so many other historical homes, old Spanishes, Mediterranean flair. You have a great community of people. You walk down Country Club Prado, and you have oak trees everywhere, and you have one of the entrances into Coral Gables, which has this like Venetian feel with like a fountain and other coral rock elements. You have the Ferdinand Park, Lisbon sorry, not Ferdinand, the Lisbon Park, right around there too. A lot of people have dogs and like walk around there. And then you're not too far from downtown Coral Gables. And then you have also a lot of great dining options down 8th Street as well too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you just get like this alternative lifestyle, and you're still accessible to a lot of things. And you're around like a good community of people.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a really nice area. A lot of the neighbors came by. There's a lot of, like you were saying, you know, it's beautiful neighborhood, and it's lively, you know, everyone kind of knows each other. They have a good community there.
Yeah. And so you did the open house recently. Who are people that are like interested in this
I actually
property?
did have an artist come by, and he's saying that he has looked at this property before. He's, you know, walked by it, and I have an artist that was very inspired when they came in. And then some younger people coming by, you know, to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because they're really cool, like loft style apartments. I had a lot of younger people coming by.
Yeah, because they would like probably be able to utilize that like additional space. Like,
Yeah.
I know from what I've seen, some people like will actually sleep in the loft.
Yeah.
Which I don't know necessarily if I would do,
I would.
because yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool. There's definitely like a novelty effect of that, and it's a great use of space because then you have that whole like living area.
Yeah.
But it is not for everyone, I will say.
But it's good for storage too.
For storage too, yeah. Lots of alternative uses for it, and the great thing too, you have great sized closets in these spaces too.
So each unit has a walk-in closet,
which is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, especially at this size. And yeah, I mean, I would say even if you were an investor looking at this property, so right now the owners do Airbnb it, and they get very great rental rates. So let's say even if you were looking at this property, this wasn't necessarily like where you want to live, but it's very hard in Miami right now to find cash returns on investments. And so the rates that they're getting on a monthly basis for, you know, renting these out short term, they're looking at like 4% cash on cash returns, which this is an incredible property because it's historical, it's unique. There's like this artistic sense, but you know, if you put on your financial hat, not only are you getting like, you know, all the beautiful's of this property, you're also getting a very good investment, which nowadays is very hard to find in Miami. So the HOA here includes insurance. It includes, you know, the maintenance for the property as well too. So even factoring that in, you are getting like 4%, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen a house like this before?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I've, you know, of course, like driven by and always, we love the Coral Rock. Like, I love when people incorporate Coral Rock if they can, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. You have to kind of, you know, it's hard to buy Coral Rock and incorporate it in what you're doing. I think it's a beautiful design, and the fact that this property is built into Coral Rock, basically. Yeah. And it's a really, really unique property. The ruins back there are very interesting too. You know, like using it as community space is really cool. I don't know what is this property historically designated?
It is historically designated too. And so that's also the reason why they did have to do the condo association. So there are all these cottages, and then there's like the main house which is a 2-2. And that sits on a 10,000 square foot lot. But because it is all historically designated and kind of integrated, you know, along the property, there are limitations, obviously, with what you can do. So with historically designated properties, there is an extra review board process in Coral Gables for any like improvements or modifications you want to make. However, because it is historically designated, there are tax incentives with
right.
this property. So any sort of improvements, if they qualify, there is a process where you are able to defer your taxes for 10 years. And it's a very marketable feature, actually, when it comes to sales, because the tax credits actually stay with the title of the property. So if you invest in the property and you adhere to kind of everything that goes along with a historical property, you also there's some savings you can get out of it as well, which historically you get assessed anytime you do improvements. So even though you are improving your property, it does add to the tax value. So it's a pro and con. There's a little bit of extra red tape you have to go through, which personally I think for Coral Gables has been a big reason of why it's so well preserved, and why you walk around and you see like such beautiful homes that have been well maintained and loved, but have a lot of character versus cookie cutter home that you're seeing a lot in Miami and other parts of the Gables. But I think overall these are both excellent listings, very, very different. One is, if you're looking in the Pinecrest area, turnkey, different, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, bigger really lot. Big, whereas this is, more historical. It has that sort of flair and uniqueness and
sense of community.
But thank you for coming on today and for highlighting these 2 properties that we have at Sime Realty.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and this has been South Florida Homes. If you'd like more information about our listings, please contact us at Sime Realty. And we look forward to seeing you next time.